Kia ora listeners, let's learn sumo. I'm Clayton, welcome to the podcast. Don't forget to join me on X or Instagram at Let's Learn Sumo. Also on YouTube where this podcast is restreamed. If you're listening on YouTube, this is a restream of a podcast. This is day 13 of the January Basho from the Kokugikan Sumo Stadium in Tokyo, Japan. Great little stadium there. Probably needs a refresh, if anything. I hear tell that Hakaku, the chairman, is actually thinking about how they're going to do it, whether they're going to pull it down or rebuild, or maybe just gut it and refit it. Anyway, day 13 of the tournament is really just a hold steady day as the chasing pack kept their positions. Hoshoryu, he faced up against Ozeki Onosato. Look at big touchy eyes. Hoshoryu got a Nodowa on Onosato. Onosato went for a body and belt grip, but Hoshoryu, he gets a hold around Onosato's head, pulled Onosato over his hip for a Kubinage head throw. This got double figures for Hoshoryu, kept him in the chase. I think Onosato, he kind of flew as he got pulled around the hip there. It was quite a pull. I think Onosato was a bit surprised he pulled that off. Anyway, Takerufuji, who kept his position by getting a close win over Abi in Komusubi there. Takerufuji went for a big hit and Abi retreated. Abi tried a massive leg sweep off the touchy eye, then retreats as Takerufuji drove forward. Abi has Takerufuji by the back of the head as they went to the bales. He actually got his hand inside Takerufuji's hair as he went across the bales. Takerufuji went down front ways. Look, they hit very close together. Chimpans had a mono-E. Replay showed Abi going back over the bales as his heel touches out first before Takerufuji hit the dirt. Obviously, Abi had his hand in the back of Takerufuji's hair. Maybe a little bit of an illegal move there, or was it that Abi was dead body? Because he was very close to being Shinatai there, dead body, in that as he left the bales before Takerufuji went down. Each of these were easily the deciding factor. Either way, the Chimpans gave it to Takerufuji. Oho, he had the Chaos Acrobat Ura on day 13. Ura went extra low, tried to keep the thrusting up on Oho. Oho got a hand on the back of Ura as he attacked, put Ura off balance as he moved across the dohyo. That was the end of Ura as he gave him a good shove on the back. Ura, just like as always, just can't fall. He's got to fall with a big bending belly flop. Either way, that kept Oho in the race as well. Kodazakura, he faced up to the Seoul leader, Kimbozan. We're not sure what's happened to Kodazura. Lots of scuttlebutt about his knees. Either way, he's just ineffective this basho. Hasn't got any consistency. Couple of wins, mostly losses. Anyway, Kimbozan, he came out with long arms, and Nodowa's Kodazakura kept Kodazakura at bay, pushed him back with a few chest hits and back to the bales, followed it up, and Kodazakura, he goes over fairly easily. That kept our pack as Kimbozan, the sole leader, on 11 wins. Hoshoryu, Oho, and Takerufuji on 10 wins. Other matches on day 13 worth looking at. Daisho, he did a big hit and shift on Chiyoshima, then followed up with a threshing for a Tsukadashi win there, thrust out. Wakataka Kage, demonstrated power in a Yorikiri win over Shodai. He got a right inside, left outside grip. Shodai, he only had a right outside grip. Shodai tried to get inside. Wakataka Kage, he took advantage of that change of position, got a big, a pull on Shodai, which basically unbalanced him, allowed Wakataka Kage to Yorikiri him over. Great power there from our Komusubi Wakataka Kage. Kirishima won a thrusting and belt battle over Takeyasu. Mono-E was called to give a look at it. The Chimpans gave it to Kirishima after Takeyasu had stepped out. Midori Fuji, he keeps his chase up for a Kachikoshi with a win over Kodashoho. A little bit of an ole after the second thrust by Kodashoho. Kodashoho went flying forwards with a bit of a helping hand on his side. Tsukiyatoshi win, and 6 wins for Midori Fuji, chasing that Kachikoshi with 2 matches to go. Nishiki Fuji, he brought up his Kachikoshi at Megashira 17 with a win over Tsurunimi, saving himself from the Juryo barge. He's had a lot of chances this year. Hakuoho used his power to get a fairly easy Yorikiri win over Hirodumi for his Kachikoshi, and Tamawashi got his Kachikoshi with a win over Onakatsu, a good pushing force out at the bales. Day 14 of the tournament was truly about sorting out who's going to win this basho and who's going to fall away. Plenty of people still chasing Kachikoshi as well. Our 4 contenders in the mix: Hoshoryu, Takerufuji, Oho, and our sole leader Kimbozan. Hoshoryu, he faced up to Takerufuji. Big hard Tachiai, Takerufuji tries to pull Hoshoryu around with that Kubunage head pull, but Hoshoryu gets a double rear belt grip and lifts Takerufuji off the ground. Then, as his feet hit the deck, he drives Takerufuji back and over the bales, throws him into the alley with a big dominant stare at the end. Takerufuji, he's now out of the race on 10 wins. Hoshoryu, he stays in it with 11 wins. Oho, he faced up to Takanosho. Oho kept Takanosho away, used his control of the right arm to pull him around before executing a Tsukiyatoshi thrust down at the bales. Fairly easy win for Oho to get him to 11 wins. Kimbozan, he had a bit of a serious test against former Ozeki Kirishima. Kimbozan waited for Kirishima at the Tachiai before going straight for a right belt grip. Kirishima, he got himself a right inside belt grip as well. Kimbozan used the grip to lift and pull Kirishima around his back to the with his back to the bales, I should say, under a bit of pressure, but Kirishima resisted. They got back to the middle of the dohyo. Kirishima's Sagari ropes fell to his feet, and they were kind of in the way, but they stalemated in the centre for a little while. Kirishima has a right outside and a left inside grip. Kimbozan had a right inside belt grip and had Kirishima's hand locked up. Kirishima then tried a move to get his leg behind the left leg of Kimbozan, tried to stand him up for a leg trip, but he resisted Kirishima, then tried an Iwatanage overarm belt throw. But again, Kimbozan resisted, and he used that position that Kirishima had to pull Kirishima around, a hand on the side of Kirishima over his hip, Tsukinage body throw at the bales as Kirishima goes down. The sole leader sets himself up for the basho on day 15. So here's how it will work on day 15. Kimbozan, he's on 12 wins, and he faces Oho on 11 wins. If Kimbozan wins the match, he wins the Yusho at Megashira 14. If Oho wins, he joins Kimbozan on 12 wins and forces a playoff. If Hoshoryu, who's facing a fellow Ozeki, weakened Korozukura, beats Korozukura, he also joins them on 12 wins, and it makes it a 3-way playoff. So a situation we haven't seen in a little while. Anyway, a 2-way playoff, very easy. The two probably Oho and Kimbozan would just fight it out for the win. But a 3-way, that is a little bit different. They draw straws to see who goes first. East and West will face off, while O is the reserve. The winner of the first match between East and West will then face the reserve O. If the East or West winner then beats the reserve, he wins the Yusho. If the reserve wins, he then faces the loser of the East-West match, and if he wins that, he then becomes the winner. But they pretty much continue until someone wins 2 matches. You've got to win the 2 matches for the playoff win for the Yusho. So that's how it will work tonight. Anyway, so who is left looking for Kachikoshi? Nishikigi, he's 7-7 against Oshoma, who already has his 8-6 Kachikoshi. Hirodumi, who already has Makekoshi, 6-8, faces Onakatsu, who's on 7-7. Big match for me, Goniyama and Midori Fuji. I want Midori Fuji to win this. That is a 7-7 playoff there. Another favourite for me, Ichi Yamamoto faces Wakataka Kage. Remember, Ichi is a big fan of Wakataka Kage. They have a 1-1 record so far, so that should be an interesting one. And it should be a grandstand finish, hopefully. Look, I don't wish Kimbozan bad, but I do really hope for a 3-way playoff, and I really do hope for a Hoshoryu win. Will 12-3 get him a Yokozuna promotion with a Yusho win? Look, that's doubtful. I don't think they will, but certainly it would help him going into March. If he pulled another good tournament, a Jun Yusho or even a Yusho in March, will certainly get him to Yokozuna. Kodazakura, however, he is back to the drawing board. So that's it coming into day 15, folks. Enjoy the final day of the Basho. Hakioi, let's learn sumo.